Jewel, there's nothing like being behind the scenes. I love being in the green room, although first time we've had like a fuchsia room. Is that what we got going on over there? That fuchsia, which is so cool, by the way. That
Yes,
is so
pink is my favorite color.
It is so freaking amazing. Look, do me a favor if you would. Those folks, they've got your bio. It's very extensive. They're reading how wonderful you are. But can you take a moment and just let them know, because they have one question, by the way. Who is Jewel Tankard? And more importantly, what are you even up to these days?
Well, what's good, everybody? Shay, thank you so much for having me on here. I appreciate you and Trevor. Y'all always reaching out, and we're always collabing and doing some pretty fun and cool stuff together that's impactful. So thank you for having me. So I'm a girl that loves Jesus, and I love to have fun. I'm married to an amazing man by the name of Ben Tankard. Woo woo! Shout out to my baby, jazz award-winning musician who's had a lot of success, and he's been a absolute ball to be married to. Actually, we're celebrating our 20th year anniversary.
Woo!
So that's really cool. So I'm excited about that. Then we have 5 amazing children. We have a beautiful blended family. We actually had a show on Bravo called Thicker Than Water, the Tankards, where we basically talked about blending the family together, like what we did to bring all those babies together. And, we were very authentic about our challenges with that and differences of opinion and all of that. So it was pretty cool. And then, pushing all of our children to just love God, be nice people and entrepreneurs. Now I have the Jewel Tankard Show on Impact Network that comes on every Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's about faith, family, and increase. And then also Chatter is on Fox Soul with me and Dr. Dee Dee Freeman, Real Talk Kim, Monique Island Mosley, and Holly Carter, who just did her thing with the Clark Sisters movie on Lifetime. And so we're having a good time. I'm having fun and, teaching people how to become wealthy pretty much and live their dreams.
I love that. We have a topic we're going to be discussing today. You can have it all, which is like, okay, I got to address the elephant in the room. I know we'll get a show going. Let me frame it like this. We had a call recently, Jewel, and there's a young lady that called in, and she said, it could have been a guy, but it was a woman, and said, hey, look, right now, I've got a lot going on. I'm now working from home full time, and that's been a challenge. I'm now a full-time wife at home. I'm now a full-time mom. I'm a full-time school teacher. Shay, I'm a full-time administrator because I turn in their homework. And in case you didn't understand it, Shay, I'm a full-time chef because I've cooked more now than ever before. And I'm up there starting and running a business as well. Jewel, you say you can have it all. Take a moment and talk to, and I don't want to say it's just women. I don't want to say that. I don't want to be biased, but talk to folks out there like, Jewel, I got a lot going on right now. And you're still telling me I can have it all and create this financial wealth. Why do you still believe that, Jewel?
Yeah, Shay, that's such a good question. First of all, I think the way we have it all is not trying to do it all. You know what I mean? Like, this is why I want everybody to be wealthy, because I want people to be able to hire that housekeeper. Girl, get that private tutor. I know if I had small children right now, I promise you, one of my sole top 5 goals would be to get a private tutor in that house. But you can't get a private tutor if you don't have the money, right? And then also to get that cook where you don't have to cook all the meals, right? To get that housekeeper that'll help you clean that house. Like, I'm not trying to do labor jobs. I want to do things where I can create additional income. I can expand the dynasty, build the empire. And so 19 definitely thrusted. I don't even like to say the word, so I say 19. But 19 like thrusted the entire world into like a digital space. And so my goal is I want everybody to realize the way you're going to have it all is not because you're trying to do it all, that you need to, first of all, get all your coins together, get all the bags so that you can begin to hire your weakness.
You said hire your weakness, which is really important. Take a moment if you can. We're going to get into that because we're going to talk about creating wealth, creating money, creating their business. They may be curious. We're in the green room, right? So we get to ask any question we want. You're looking lovely, by the way, as always. Tell Ben you're looking fine as always, by the way. But they're probably curious when Jill gets up in the morning. Number one, what is Jewel Tankard grateful for? And number 2, what are some power affirmations that maybe Jewel Tankard tells herself to get her going. And again, we're in the green room. Don't worry. We'll talk about wealth, ladies and gentlemen. She's going to back that thing up. You can have it all. I'm going to ask her 3 ways to create wealth. Don't worry. But right now, what are you grateful for when you think about gratitude? And number 2, what are some affirmations you tell yourself just to keep going on a daily basis?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked, Shay. You're such a good interviewer. So first of all, this is my journal right here. And I actually just created this new journal called the Millionairess Journal. 2021, the Millionairess Journal. And basically on it, it's on the cover, a beautiful mansion, some cryptocurrencies on there, oil wells on there, and real estate is on there. And so basically what I do every day, we just literally got this in, but what I do every day, I haven't written in that yet. I'm finishing, I only have like a couple pages left. But every day I date it and I write out my goals. I write down that I'm beautiful, I'm smart, I'm vibrant, I'm youthful, I'm energetic, I'm excited, I'm alert, I'm discernful. The old and new money is coming to me every day and in every way. That God has blessed my marriage, my children, that is expanding my influence, expanding my territory, that I have a genius team in marketing and technology, and that I'm a detailed thinker, that I don't forget the details. I mean, when I tell you, I go through like every area of my life, spirit, soul, and body, right? And so because when you write down your goals, it actually like gets in your heart, right? You can say them out of your mouth, but there's something about grabbing this pen, honey, and writing that thing down, who you are and how you think. And literally, this is what I do every day. This is what I did this morning. So I started the morning off. We have 7 a.m. Central Standard and 8 a.m. Eastern Standard. We have a virtual prayer every single morning. Y'all follow me, Jewel Tankard on Facebook and Instagram. But every Tuesday, there are other prayer leaders that do it. But every Tuesday, I'm praying in the morning. And then I write out my goals, and then I start my day with amazing people like you.
Wow, that's incredible. Look, for those folks that are out there watching now, like Sandra that's out there watching, Maria, good to see you. Beth, it is always a pleasure. Yeah, it's Jewel. Yes, she's live. Yes, we're here. This is the real deal, Holyfield, for those folks that are watching. We've got a show. When we come back, yes, you can have it all. Yes, you can create wealth. And yes, you can keep a marriage for 20 years. How in the world you do that? I don't know, but we'll be back in 5. Jewel, this is my favorite part. We got a show. 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll be right back, ladies. Promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission is to empower. Our mission is to inspire. And our mission is to provide you, that's right, you, the entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And I always say you have 3 visions, by the way. I believe first, you have a vision for yourself, like the clothes you want to wear, the organic food you can't wait to eat, the home that you want to live in for your family, and it takes resources, which means it takes money. We're going to talk to Jewel Tankard about that. And then the second vision you have is you have a vision for your loved ones. I mean, the ones you care the most about, the kids you want to send to a school of your choice. I was with Mother Dear yesterday, took her to the doctor, 73 years old. She's doing just fine. And then we went and ordered a humidifier on Amazon. How many of you know she know how to order on Amazon really well, right on her phone, sitting right there? Whose credit card's on there, by the way? Nothing personal. Mother Dear, I know I love you. She's probably watching right now. One day, you got to show me how to change that. It's been a while, okay? Many orders later. My point is, you want to you want to write a check for someone you care about. It takes resources. Jewel, we got to come back to you because that means it takes revenue. It takes some money. We're going to talk to you about that. And then the third vision I believe you have, don't worry, I'm going to have her break that thing down, is you have a vision for the people you were called to serve. So imagine, I'm going to use Noah in the Bible. Now, you don't have to be a believer, okay? But I happen to be a believer. You don't have to happen to be one. But imagine Noah in the Bible, and you're ready to get started. And God's giving you all the experience. He's giving you all the expertise, and you're ready. Like, you're ready to get going. Then right before you get going, there's a knock at the door. You're like, what's up? What's up? Yo, Noah, yo. Yeah, what's up? There are no hammers in the house. All right, cool. No hammers. I'm cool. Another knock. What's up? I might as well tell you, bro. We ain't got no nails either. No hammer, no nails. Rule number one, I don't panic. Yo, back here, Noah, me. What's up? There's no wood and there's no people. Good luck on this mission. And maybe that's you right there. You don't have any revenue. There's no money. You got this big goal, but you're stuck. Welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Because this morning, this evening, this afternoon, no matter what time it is, the one and only Jewel Tankard says you can have it all. What's up, Jewel? Welcome to the show.
Good. Thank you so much for having me again. Having fun on here. This is some good stuff.
Well, it's an honor and a privilege. Thank you. It's an honor and a privilege to treat and a treasure. You got Deborah Gardner. She's out there watching from Phoenix, Arizona. Betty Speaks is in the house. I see you. Sean C. Hudson said, what's up? Thanks a lot. We always appreciate you out there. Lucy says she's in here. So many folks. Daryl, I see you. Kelvin, my man. Look, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Don't worry. We love to do this. Jewel, you can have it all. You're talking about wealth. Everyone knows they need money. What's holding people back from really creating the wealth they need in their life? Based on all your experience, can we just talk about that for a moment?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a couple things, but I would probably say belief is definitely one. You got to believe that you deserve it, that it's there for you. There's no shortage of money on the earth, right? There's just a shortage of education or revelation. And I tell people, no matter what they're called to, I don't care if you're called to maybe be a restaurant owner, a CEO, a janitor, a housewife, like, I don't care what line of business you're in, you need to educate yourself on money, right? Because money has patterns, it has rhythms. And if you can put yourself in a position to educate yourself on it, it'll start chasing you and you don't have to chase it. So no matter what you do in life, you need to educate yourself on money and you need to become an investor. See, most people go through their whole life living off the income. I made this amount. And then you're living off of that. But ultimately what you want to do is take that money and invest it so that eventually you can live off of the interest. So I'm all about helping people learn to live off of the interest. So that way, no matter what goes on in business, whether the restaurant's closed because of 19 or museums or whatever you own, you don't have to solely rely on the income for your lifestyle. You build your investment so that eventually the interest outruns your income. And literally everybody can get there, even if they just start with $20. The key is to pay yourself. Most people don't pay themselves. See, my wealth cycle is I pay tithe and offering, and then I pay myself. Then I pay bills. I'm second. I always pay myself. Most people don't pay themselves. Even if they're tithers, then after that, they pay all the bills, right? And they leave themselves last. Start paying yourself second out of everything you get.
You know, they're probably thinking, okay, Joe, that sounds great. You know, you talk about the rules of money, the new rules of money. You said there's a difference between how the rich think and how the poor think. And you're kind of framing the conversation right now. For those folks out there, no matter what level they are, there's some folks out there, Joe, they're doing really, really well. And they want to protect their assets, right? They already got financial security and moving towards financial independence and financial wealth, two different levels. But take a moment when you talk about those that are creating money and those that have, what's one of the philosophies of how folks think? You kind of started it just now because you said you got to do your thinking, but you talk about these rules of money. Take a moment and give us a difference between how those that don't have money think and those that do have money. Just give us one point, one idea.
Yeah, for sure. I think that, you think about movies that we grew up on, like Good Times. It wasn't nothing good about that. But subconsciously, if you keep seeing people struggle and they talk about good times, then you might start thinking that struggling is a part of it. Or you started hearing things like, as long as I got Jesus, I don't need nobody else. Like, that is not scriptural. Jesus wants you to have him and a whole lot more, right? or if you songs, climbing up the rough side of the mountain, like all these songs and shows that had struggle infused in them. And so you watch that over the years and you start thinking people of color struggle. Everybody's going through. Everybody's living check to check. When you go onto the grocery store, you can only get what you need, not what you want. So there's so much framework that we have to undo. We have to undo that framework and start saying, I can have not either or, but and also. I can have this and that. And sometimes people start to make you feel bad when you have overflow. And I remember I was doing, moving my winter clothes for my summer. My team was here helping me. And one girl was kind of new and she was just like, oh my gosh, you got clothes everywhere. Almost as though I should have shame on me for having overflow. So you have to know that you deserve to live in overflow, that God has ordained it for your life. You just have to believe that you receive it. So we have to definitely work on that framework. And when we identify areas of poverty that we're thinking, say, no, that's not correct. I can have that and that, not either or.
I love it how you said that, by the way. Jasmine Bridget is out there. Jasmine Paget said that's right. She's listening right now. She's tuned in. Jewel, I know the whole world knows you, but there might be a small segment that don't, and they might be wondering, they're looking, they got your bio and saying, wait a minute, Shay. Okay, what does she know about having to start over? Or what does she know about the struggle? Like, what does she share to other folks that have to get it going? Look at her. This is great. Look at, she's got a show. She's got this. She's got home. She got this. Take a moment, if you would. It's almost an unfair question in the amount of time we have, but can you take a minute or two or maybe three and kind of frame a little bit of the backstory? So those folks out there listening, doing well, tune in. And those folks are like, Shay, what does she know? I'm just seeing this. Take a moment and kind of tell them a little bit about what you know and how you got to where you are now, please.
Yeah, for sure. So I grew up downtown Detroit, and my parents are actually the first African Americans to have a business downtown Detroit. They owned a chain of record stores called LaGreen's Records and Tapes. And so as a result of that, I did grow up having a pretty amazing lifestyle. I remember us having his and her Rolls Royce, his and her Mercedes. I had a Volvo at 16, housekeepers, cooks, drivers, private schools. It was all that I knew, growing up. And then at 19, we lost everything. And I was so devastated. My dad went into a serious depression. And living in Detroit, it gets really cold in the winter. And I remember this happened during the winter time. The heat got turned off, no hot water, groceries were scarce. And I was asking my mom a lot of questions like, Mom, didn't we have anything saved? Did we have anything invested? Did we not have anything paid off? Like literally all the cars repossessed within 6 months. And then we stayed in the house for about another year. And then eventually they foreclosed on the house and we had to move. And it was just a really hard time. And I remember being very disappointed and very angry with my mother because I felt like my dad was always a really good producer. And even today he is. But my mom naturally would have been a much better manager and investor, but she did not trust her instinct. And our answer for everything was, your father said this, your father wanted to do this, your father. And that's when I started to realize that my mom did not trust her own financial instinct. And so I started dating drug dealer Shay because that was my financial plan. I was like, okay, I'm gonna date this one, gonna help me pay for these utilities. This one gonna help me get some groceries. Honest to God, that was my mindset. Was when I went out on a date with a guy, I was like, okay, after dinner, I'm gonna be like, I need some money for this, that, and the third. And I had a group of girlfriends, and that's what we did. And it was fun, fast cars, yachts, all of that for a couple years. And then they started getting indicted and dying. And one that I was dating was a drug kingpin, and he got indicted for a double related murder. So he was in jail. Two other women he was dating went to jail with him. Thank God I never got caught up. He asked me to put my name in somebody's car because he sold cars. It's how he laundered money. And I was like, I'm not doing that. Thank God, right? Because I could have been caught up in that. But that was a real wake-up call for me because I went from my daddy taking care of me to men taking care of me. And I remember one day Holy Spirit said, why can't you take care of yourself? And so that's where I ended up going to the University of Michigan, majoring on econ, studying money, and asked God to send me wealth mentors in real estate, gold, silver, and just overall business. And that's exactly what he did. And And that's what really caused my passion in 19 to say, I'm never going to be in the situation that my mom is in. I'm never going to be in a situation where unless a man can pay my bills or, give me my dream life, I can't live it. I'm never going to be in this situation again.
Wow. For those folks that are listening, thanks for sharing. Do me a favor, hit the share button. One of the ways, what's up, Eric Heilig, man down in Orlando, Florida. Earl Washington, thanks for joining. So many of you tuning in right now. It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much. Do me a favor, all of you. Here's one of the ways that you can give Jewel a digital applause. And don't worry, I'm going to ask her about this whole concept of breaking fear to be able to invest, to be able to trust others with your money, to be able to do what others have done that you've been watching for many years. But maybe there's some I'm a little afraid of that. I think I'm going to just keep this under the mattress. Don't worry. I'm going to ask her that question. I'm going to ask her point blank why she does it. So do me a favor. Hit the share button first. Hit the watch party button. Pay this message forward right now. Do it now. Do it now. We believe in the giver's economy. The person that outgives the competition out-earns the competition. The person that outgives the competition out-earns the competition. And Jewel's perfectly okay with you taking the link and sharing it forward to your network group, sharing it forward on your Facebook page, paying it forward right now. Do that now. Thank all of you who are doing it right now. You're rock stars. You're amazing. All of you are awesome. Thank you for blessing someone else. Jewel, take a moment and maybe you can frame it around fear. But, you talk about investing, you talk about wealth. Some folks might be thinking, well, how did she break through the idea that she's going to give her money and trust someone else to do what they're supposed to do to help it grow and help it multiply and help it grow? So can you take a moment just to kind of talk about that whole investing concept?
Yeah. So, I'm definitely all about self-education. And that's really what a lot of billionaires and multiple millionaires did in 2020. They were self-educating. They weren't binging on Netflix, right? They were educating. They were reading books. They were watching YouTube. They were collabing with other people in their wealth community and asking questions and getting curious because the world is changing. And so literally right now, I think we're at the first inning of the largest wealth transfer that the world has ever seen. And I'm definitely not for people giving their money to somebody else to manage it. I think that's kind of an antiquated ideal. I think that's what our parents and grandparents did because you sat down with human resources with your 401k and you said, take out 10% of my check because that's what you saw your friends doing. That's what they told you to do. Or maybe you sat down with an advisor from Edward Jones or Merrill Lynch or Smith Barney, which is cool. And you gave them your money and you said, where should I invest? And I still kind of have that traditional wealth advisor, but I work with them. I do a lot of the investing on my own. I buy my own cryptocurrency. I buy my own alternative cryptocurrencies. I buy my own stocks on E-Trade. I trade cryptocurrency on Hugo's Way, which is a broker, and I trade it on a platform called MetaTrader 4. So I pretty much put myself in a position because I'm a part of a wealth community with wealth education, having wealth conversations, and now I'm educated and I actually make these purchases myself, usually on a daily basis or every other day, but definitely a couple times a week. That has allowed me to build a very strong multiple $1 million portfolio. And it was just because I was plugging into the education, Shay, and that's what everybody needs to do. And even if you have a very low risk tolerance, that's fine. I tell people start conservatively, but the key is to educate yourself and to start.
Educate yourself and start. Educate yourself and start. For those folks out there, Danny Don Hacker says he's listening at work. He's in West Virginia. Thanks a lot, my man. We certainly appreciate it. Saucony Prince, who is in Alabama, says he's now shared it. Thank you so much. Jasmine says she shared it. Some of you writing you shared it. If you haven't hit the share button yet, hit the share button. Jewel showed up for one reason and one reason only, and that is to serve. She didn't ask for a Cash App. Shh. She didn't ask for a Zelle payment. Shh. She just showed up. You can show up as well, and you can serve. Hit the share button. Hit the watch party button. Do that right now. Oh, you want to know what her big why is? That's a good question. I'm glad y'all are asking that. I mean, I'm thinking, you're thinking what I'm thinking right now. Like, she's all in, and she's here serving Shay, and she's here doing this. What's her big why? Why is she on this mission to educate and empower folks so they can have all the wealth they need and the resources to do what they want to do? What's her big why these days? Can't be another car. Can't be another house. I don't know. Jewel, what's your big why? Why are you out there on this whole wealth education kick right now? And you haven't for years. Like, this is who you are. Why?
Yeah. So, I've been broke before. I was married to somebody that was broke, and he said he wanted, this, that, and the third, but he just wanted to sit around, smoke high, smoke weed, get high, and play video games. And so I just was like, I'm not going to be in this situation, and I think I kind of went from an extreme because after dating the drug dealers, it was just like, I don't care. Just give me a man that loves me, which is, you should. Don't get me wrong, girls. But those core values are going to have to be in play. Otherwise, it's not going to work out so well. And so I just knew that I did not want to be broke. And I knew that I wanted to be able to be a blessing to my children, be a blessing to my community. Like I love how you talk about with your mom, you taking care of your mom. It costs money to take care of your mama. It costs money to buy organic food. It costs money to not live in a neighborhood where you could possibly get shot. Like all of that stuff costs money. And so I told God a long time ago, I said, Lord, when you make me wealthy, I'm gonna make sure that I never forget. I never forget where I came from, and I never forget to go and empower another little brown girl or brown guy and let him know that it's possible. There are gonna be some things that you have to do. So my goal this year, 2021, is to raise up 1,000 millionaires. And I'm literally right now working with a team of about close to 10,000 people all over the world in 120 countries. And I'm teaching these people how to trade foreign currency, how to trade cryptocurrency, how to accumulate cryptocurrency. What the heck is cryptocurrency? How do you accumulate it as a digital asset? How we're going into a paperless society. In a minute, you're going to start seeing platforms that actually loan crypto because people will be using that digital asset to buy things like homes and cars. They're already doing it now. And so educating people on the future of money, that's really what my goal is. And my why is because I'm tired of seeing our community behind the 8 ball economically. Now, even though we've had an emergence and it's like hot to be Black right now, it's hot to be a Black girl right now, and I love that. But when you start looking at the numbers in terms of how many multiple millionaires that we have as Black men and Black women in comparison to our counterparts, those numbers are still grossly small. Because this is what I realized. Just because you're famous on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or The Real, it doesn't necessarily mean that converts into actual liquidity or having an asset portfolio. And so I want to make sure that people actually get the real education, right? Because some people are going to be famous, some people nobody's going to know, but they're going to be like uber wealthy, right? So that's really my why. I want to see 1,000 people this year, and I love all races. Let me say that. I really, really do. But because I've seen us behind the 8 ball for so long, I'm really passionate about seeing people of color come into this digital space and kill it.
Come into the digital space and kill it. Speaking of coming to digital space, Mel Mack, welcome aboard. He's watching for the first time. Elzina is out there watching as well. Good to see you. Thanks so much, Joseph. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're at the right place at the right time. You know, one of the questions that's on my mind, by the way, is this whole phrase you have is, you can have it all. And I know when I first met you several years ago, one of the things I admired about you most, I was in a servant capacity, which I try to be in. You didn't know who I was, but you treated me as if I was like the head honcho. And that meant so much to me walking out with you. And I was like, you know what, the first time I'd met you and didn't know all the details, but it said a lot. And so then when I heard, connected it to this idea that you had, other than treating everyone the same, which is amazing, you had this idea that you can have it all. We want to know the backstory on that. To me, that's just as powerful as yes, we can. And you might not notice, but I held that close to me. And that's one of the mantras I tell myself because I like that. I'm like, man. And then she even says with the Millionaires Club, go big, break through, go big. She don't say ask for something small. You have not because you ask not. She says, go big. So my question to you, for those folks that are tuning in, it might be like me, might be wondering, what's the narrative on you can have it all? And why is that like her flagship? Why is that like something that she drives everywhere she goes?
Yeah, I think, and again, I don't know just if this was growing up as a Black girl, maybe other, races can relate to this too. But I just felt like there was always like this scarcity. Like, oh, like I said, either or, you in the grocery store, put that back. You can't have that. We just getting what you need. When you're shopping for clothes, you can't have 10 pair of shoes. You can only have one. I recently took a family member shopping, and I said, well, let's go pick you some shoes out. So they picked out some shoes, and I was like, well, what else do you like? And then the second pair, and I was like, well, do you see anything else you like? And I think we end up leaving there with like 7 pair of shoes, and they were just blown away. And I was like, I just want you to know this should be your normal. Like, we serve a God of plurality, of multiplication. Like, there's no, like, you don't have to choose to just do one thing. We're all multiple. We're really all multiple dimensional. We're multiple dimensional. Like, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a CEO, I'm a pastor, I'm an investor, I'm a teacher, I'm an intercessor. Come on, somebody. So you don't have to just do one thing. You can do multiple things. You can be a film writer, you can be a playwright, you can literally do whatever it is that ultimately that I feel like God called you to do. Because if he called you to do it, he gave you the supernatural enablement to do it. You have supernatural ability. You have an ability to flow in that particular grace because it's what you've been called to do. And so I just want people to know that they don't have to just have one home. The Bible talks about how we should own houses. There's like over 2,500 scriptures, just in case y'all didn't know, 2,500 scriptures on money in the Bible. Over 2,500. There's a scripture I was reading, 2 Chronicles chapter 24, I think verse 11. It talked about them going and getting large amounts of money. They emptied the chest, and they had to go back day after day to accumulate all that had been released to them. So there is no lack anywhere at all in the Word of God. There are things that have been presented to us, welfare, Section 8, redlining, all those things put great limitations on us. So now we're at a time where we can push past every limit, and you literally can have whatever it is that you believe you can have. We have homes in several different states, like 4 different states. I'm a huge real estate investor in the city of Detroit. I'm going into the inner city, rehabbing those homes, and then putting solid tenants in them. So what am I saying is that wealth should ultimately not just change your life, not just change your family's life, but change your community. I gave away 2 SUVs, the Jewel Tankard Foundation, this year to single moms, right? Because I want them to know that every limitation that has been put on them, whether it's from their family, their parents, a man, I don't care, a woman, I don't care, that they literally can break every barrier. There absolutely are no limits. And so every day you got to work on your mindset to remind yourself that there are only limits here. So if I work on this every day, if I work on personal development every day, eventually I'm going to become publicly what I admire because of what I practice privately. Sometimes people just want public success. I'm like, that's cool. If you want public success, get private success. That's how you do it.
I love it. Says so well. For those folks out there, hit the share button, hit the watch party button, pay this message forward to another little girl, a little boy, a big girl, big boy, someone that's out there right now that's an entrepreneur. Hit the share button right now. This is your moment. You can have it all. Do me a favor. For those folks out there watching, Danny said he shared. Look right below the video. And you can write those words. You can have it all. Hashtag Jewel Tankard. You can have it all. Hashtag Jewel Tankard. Now, this is not about just believing. She has a system. She has a process. She has a group that does this. You can have it all. And even if you don't believe it, tell yourself right now, Jewel Tankard holds the belief and Shay Brown holds the belief. We'll hold the belief for you. You can have it all. With that being said, Jewel, we're moving to a segment right now called Today is My January 1st. And for those folks that know what I'm about to do, today is my January 1st. You can look right below the video and write those words as well. Today is my January 1st. And for those folks that want it, all the new folks, what in the LL Cool J is Shay talking about over there? Today is my January 1st represents one of those moments, those days on the calendar where you don't wait for January the 1st. You create a January 1st moment every time you make a decision. And there's probably about 1,000 decisions you make throughout the day. And any one of those decisions could change the trajectory of your life. You make a decision that you're going to work out. You can do that right now, can't you? Or you're going to sit back and binge watch and watch Netflix. That's a January 1st moment. You make a decision that you're going to eat, I don't know, hamburgers and French fries, a little salt, a little pepper, ketchup. My son's want hot sauce, a little hot sauce. Or you're going to go to the refrigerator. You're going to open it up. And inside there's some kale. I know that tastes good, doesn't it? There's some broccoli. Gotta reach that. There's even some Brussels sprouts. That's a January 1st moment. So it's a do-over. It's a fresh start. You know, that past no longer equals the future. Jewel, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, which is one of our core beliefs, what goes through your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all have the ability to recommit every day. You have the ability to say, I'm getting ready to live my best life. You have the ability every day to say that today I'm going to be better, stronger, richer, wiser than I was yesterday. Like literally, we have that authority, but it's just a matter of releasing that authority, believing that we have that authority, using our mouth to determine our life. Your life is going to line up with what you believe and what you say. And so I try to make sure that if I believe something, that my mind, my mouth is in agreement, that I don't contradict what I'm believing. So if I'm believing for a really good life, if I'm believing for healing, whatever it is I'm believing for, all I have to do is work on my belief by writing it down every day, keeping it before my eyes, saying it out of my mouth, and eventually, what are you going to do? You're going to manifest. You're not going to manifest just what you necessarily see, but you're going to manifest what you believe and what you say. And eventually your life just starts to line up with it. And, I used to be tired all the time. I had to start believing I wanted a supernatural energy. And you know what? There's a strategy for everything that you want. So I started eating like you talked about, the kale, the probiotics, the vitamin C, the D, the zinc, the quercetin, right? I started getting infusions. I get infusions every month, Shay. My nurse comes over. She gives me the Myers cocktail. I do an oxygen infusion called hydrogen peroxide that kills all viruses right on contact. Mm-hmm. I do that every month. I get a 2-hour deep tissue every single month because I believe, first of all, that I deserve it. And I want to make sure that my self-care is on point. If you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to take care of anybody else. And so sometimes we say, oh, I'm work. I want you to work. I work about 10 to 15 hours on average a day, right? But I got my alkaline water right here. I happen to be fasting this week until 12 o'clock. But then when I do eat, I'm going to make healthy choices. So you just have to know that if you desire to be your best self, it's what you put in your mind every day, what you hear every day, and what you see every day, and then what you speak every day and what you write every day. I promise you, if you start doing that, your life is going to line up. I manifested our live-in for 17 years. She just moved out recently. And so now I'm about to manifest my next faithful live-in or housekeeper. As long as she's here 4 days a week, I don't care. I'm about to manifest that because I talk about it. I'm seeing it. I need it. I need the help. I've manifested my amazing genius team. I manifested my husband. When he saw me 20 years ago, he said, "You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. You're supposed to be my wife." I manifested him. This beautiful mansion, 13,000 square foot mansion I'm sitting in right now in my office. I manifested this because it's what I saw. I manifested my G-Wagon paid off. I manifested my Range Rover paid off. I manifested the Denali paid off. I manifested the Mercedes Sprinter paid off. I manifested our children walking in their calling. And I'm still kind of working on that one. We working that out. We getting there. They doing good. But my point is, you have the ability to manifest whatever you focus on. And so what you have to protect is your focus, because your life will go in the direction of where your focus is. So every day I'm intentional about what I'm focusing on, what I'm thinking about, and what I'm saying. Because I know eventually, whatever that is, good or bad, I'm going to manifest it.
Said so well. Dr. Sakisha Heilig is out there watching. She's tuned in. Brianna James, I think, out there in California is watching right now. SBC Hair Doctor said he's in the house as well. They're all tuned in. Every single one of you out there right now, do me a favor. Hit the share button. Like just pause if you haven't done anything else, because I'm going to ask you about this whole thing about being consistent in a moment. But you hit the share button. You hit the watch party button. You pay this message forward. Don't hold it to yourself. We believe in serve plus add value. Serve plus add value. Not even serving if you ain't had no value, right? So she's serving and she's adding value. So you hit the share button and you add value to someone else's life right now. You can do that with just a push of a button. Just a push of a button, you can do that. Jewel, you probably heard this phrase before because there's truth inside of truisms, right? And the phrase is consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. And having said that, what do we all struggle with? Can I put 2 hands up, somebody? With consistency. So the question is, what does Jewel share with folks in order for them to be consistent? Because life is being on track and then off track, then on track and then off track. What's your secret to being consistent?
I think the key is to get the end goal. Get the end goal in mind. So I'll give you an example. When our precious live-in moved out, I was happy for her. But I stay for myself. Nah, I was happy for her. But I was like, okay, so the end goal is to have this house look like a magazine cover every day. That's the end goal. So I've literally, and I'm still in this process, I've literally been on a hunt a couple times a week to find a housekeeper. So I've been using things like care.com. Y'all got some suggestions, I'm open. Because they do background checks and credit checks, so you don't have nobody crazy. And I've gone through 2 of those housekeepers, but they weren't consistent. They weren't consistent. Text them, don't call back, just not consistent. Like, what are you doing? I thought you wanted a job. I got another lady that'll be here Thursday. But I have to go through this process until it manifests. And so every day, and you know what, I forgot to write this down today too. Shoot, I didn't write about the housekeeper. Make myself a note when I get done. Write down housekeeper. I'm seriously.
I'm gonna write that one down. I like that. That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, I'm writing down. God, I thank you for a detailed, cleaner, minor-owned business, quiet. I'm not trying to have a friend. Come in here and do your work, and organize, and pays attention to things that I don't pay attention to in this house, and can work 4 days a week from ideally like 10 to 5. I'm also needing to manifest my personal assistant. She done got so blessed. She still assists me, but she can't really personally assist me here in my house like she used to, because she's grown and she's running my brand. Chief Operating Officer Camille Westmoreland, shout out. She's amazing. But now I need a personal assistant. So I have to manifest, and I'm writing that down too, because I didn't write that down this morning. So I'm going to write down everything I'm looking for in a personal assistant. I want her to be vibrant. I want her to have great ideas. I want her to be an organizer, particularly in the digital space. I want her to be a thinker. I want her to be a futurist. She looks ahead. She doesn't just do what she's told. And with my housekeeper, I want her to be super clean. I want her to manage everything from my silverware to my towels to my washcloths. I want her to have ideas about how to compartmentalize different things in the house. I want her to know it's junk, and if it is, throw it out, because I'm not a pack rat. Like, I'm writing these attributes down, and I'm going to manifest, and I'm going to write down how much I'm going to pay her. I'm going to manifest that. I'm staying consistently on that until it manifests, because that is a big part of me scaling up and going to the next level. Remember, you cannot be afraid to hire a weakness. And sometimes you can say you can't afford to hire somebody, but everybody gets to a point that if you don't hire them, you don't grow. You don't hire them, you don't grow. So you just got to stay on it. So think about the end goal and then work backwards and say, every day I have to work on my goals. The day you get to a point where you're like, I'm not working on, and I'm not saying don't take a day off or whatever, but I'm saying for the most part, you need to be so purpose driven that it's not anything you have to be convinced to do. The end goal is so big. So if the end goal is a penthouse in New York, this is what I'm doing because I want this penthouse in New York, or I want to buy the house next door to me to move my parents in, or I need to now manifest my parents' housekeeper, or whatever it is. You get the end goal and then you drill down every single day. So nobody has to tell me, Jewel, you're working 15 hours a day. I'm excited about working 15 hours a day because I want maximum productivity. I'm not interested in broken focus, and I'm not interested in non-productivity. I cannot stand non-productivity. So that helps me to be consistent.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it, Jewel. Boy, I love it. I'm taking notes because I love the fact you keep weaving in there. You can have it all. You got to manifest it, and then you got to go put it to action. For those folks out there, do me a favor. Hit the share button. I know I keep saying it. Hit the share button. Hit the watch party button. I'm going to ask Jewel in a moment, I don't know if she's even taking on any clients right now. She has the Millionairess Club. She has a lot going on. So I'm going to ask her, for those folks that are ready not only to manifest it, not only to write it down, but people out there like Robert Tippy, who's now watching as well. Tashika Pennington, who's watching right now. Carol, who's watching right now. I see you, Allison, up there in New York. So nice. They named it twice. Question they might have is, what type of clients does Jewel's organization work with now? Because they're like, Shay, I need a support system. Shay, I need to be a part of something because I'm ready not only to manifest it, but to write the check. and how can they connect with you? So it's a two-part question. And for those folks that are listening, listen with two ears if you can. First, listen with the ear of, does this work for me? Is this something like me? Like, I'm not the type of client she's looking for. You listen with that ear. Then listen for the other ear as well of, okay, if not me, who can I share this message with that they're ready to manifest? Because she's going to share, number one, type of client she works with or looking for. And number two, how you can contact her, like, or her office. Like, I know she has something to give away. We're going to find out right now. Jewel, talk to him, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I got to get ready to wrap after this. I always have so much fun with you. But yeah, you guys can get on jeweltankard.com. Everything is Jewel Tankard, Instagram, Snapchat, Reel, Twitter, Facebook, Jewel Tankard. And yeah, Millionairess Club basically is a club that I started to help the average everyday woman to learn how to trade foreign currency and cryptocurrency. And basically they learn how to do it on their cell phone, right? And we teach about how to invest in real estate, how to invest in oil, how to start accumulating gold and silver. You can set up an auto save program with that. And so I'm like really excited. That club is open to anybody. We also have a getaway that's coming up the end of May, the Millionairess Experience.com. I think that is, we'd love to have you there. We're going to have 2 days of laying out a wealth blueprint for basically the next 5 years. And so, you know, the days of people used to think when people became wealthy, it would take them like years to become a millionaire or years to be a multimillionaire. That's not the case. It literally can happen in a short amount of time. And so I want to thank you again so much, Shay, for having me on here today.
Thank you.
I always love kicking it with you and having fun. And yeah, y'all hit me up on Jewel Tankard, and I appreciate you guys.
Thanks a lot, Jewel. We're out here. You guys rock. We're out here. God bless. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
Yeah.
Thank you. God bless.